Okay, so I was reading my personal development, which is me rereading The Compound Effect. And I was thinking about the one on one that I had with Josh on Wednesday. And I was just thinking about how, I've been talking to you guys about going back to the basics and not getting so overwhelmed with like a big checklist. Like I have a big checklist that I follow and that works for me, but that's not what I did right off the bat. So I don't expect you to jump in, especially if you're a newer coach or if you are, an emerald or, whatever, not, you're not in the same spot that I'm going to be in. So you're not going to even need to do the same tasks that I'm doing. So I needed to take it back to the basics. So when I was talking to Josh, he was talking to me about different personality types and how I am a rhino and how that can be good. But I also tend to just have everybody jump in on what I think that they need to be doing. So I'm working on that. But I started rereading The Compound Effect, and it was talking about small actions, leading to success. When you do things over and over, they compound into something bigger, like a savings account that grows interest. And, you following 21-day fix every day for however long until you need to, hit your certain weight loss goals. You don't, with weight loss, you don't do a lot one day. Like you can't just eat really good one day and like do your 21-day fix workout and go run extra and do all these workouts and then have met your goal weight the next day. It just doesn't happen. We wish it did. I wish it did. It would make my life so much easier, but that's not how it goes. And it's the same thing with everything else. It's the same way with your business. I talked to hundreds of people today. I literally went through all of the people that had liked my last 2 promotions that weren't connected to my page, and I messaged them, just constant messages. And I can't expect this one day of working from the time my husband left to now to make me, like a 10-star diamond tomorrow. That's just not what happens. But if I do these things every day, small steps, not talking to hundreds of people a day, but if I take small steps consistently every day and make attainable things for myself that are not so overwhelming, then I'm going to get to where I want to be. Then it's going to compound into something great. So everybody's got their own number. But I think something that we all do is we look at everybody around us and we assume that we need to be doing more, that what we're doing is not enough. Or we get distracted by what other people are doing, and we're so distracted by what they're doing, we forget about what we should be doing first, what our first priorities are. So something that I will share after this call is Carly's call about buckets. And that's what we learned in California at the Diamond Retreat that I went to. We had one at corporate come and speak to us. His name is Jeremy Redd. And he's talking about your buckets. And you can only fit so many things in your bucket, right? So you have to find your priorities. Well, you have to do that in every area of your life. So say your family's in there, I hope, and your business is in there, and other things are in there. Once you get that taken care of, you have to figure out what the most important parts are of those things. So like I said, I'm not going to get into details about that because I'm going to share that video that Carly did. But essentially, for your business, you need to be doing just small, attainable things each day. Don't get overwhelmed by I have to find 3 to 5 new people and I have to post 3 to 5 times and I have to do this 3 to 5 times and I have to read and I have to this. Start small. So whatever your biggest weakness is, I guess, and whatever you feel like is holding you back from your success, maybe it's inviting people, talking to people, your confidence level with talking to people. Maybe it is sharing your personal story on social media. So take that and focus on that. Focus on improving that area that you feel you're the weakest in. So for me, I'm using myself as an example, 1, to hold myself accountable, and 2, because these are legit things I have to work on. For me, I really need to work on my finances, like just keeping them more in check. We really need to save money. I want to pour more into the team. I want to change the way. So I'm going to track my finances like crazy. I've been literally tracking them every day and watching everything that comes in and out of our checking account. Now, that doesn't seem like it's a part of our business, but it is, because that's how I give the team gifts and stuff like that, is by tracking everything. And that's how I budget to advertise. So that's one thing. Another thing that I need to work on is being more interested with people and asking them more questions instead of being interesting, instead of just focusing on my success and my story as being my way of getting Success Club points. So that's something that I have to work on, is asking more questions and being more interested. What I've noticed is when you take one thing and focus on it, whatever you feel like you need to focus on the most right now, one thing, and you make an attainable, achievable, not overwhelming goal every day, you want to do better in every other area. And the best example I can use is I'm on day 4, almost 5 of 21 Day Fix Extreme. And I'm doing it paleo, which is very challenging for me. And my nutrition has been not strict at all since the first round of 21 Day Fix that I did. I've just fluctuated. I'd be really strict for 3 to 5 days, and then I wouldn't be strict. I'd be really strict, and then I wouldn't be strict. So I'm going back to the basics, back when I first started, just like what I've been telling y'all. And I'm following 21 Day Fix Extreme to a T with paleo. So that's really hard for me. I love my wine. I love my beer. I love my cheese. I love my grains. But I'm doing it because I've noticed the last 4 days of me just making sure that I get that 30-minute workout in every day, and that I get all my containers in and I've been tracking my containers on that Beachbody 21 Day Fix app that's free, by the way. I've been tracking that on there. And I have improved so much. I've lost 6 pounds, first of all, but I've improved so much. That was not like my number deal, by the way, on my fitness, but it's followed into everything else because I've been so focused on my nutrition and so focused on my health and fitness. It's made me even more focused in my business. And I've spent more time not so scatterbrained of getting good quality content out there on my page, of talking to more people, of getting my house cleaned more often. I know there's laundry all in the back, but to be fair, it is all folded, and that's like my 6th load today. So gotta have some props there. But everything else has been more on track since I just started getting more on track with one thing. One thing that I was really struggling with at that point was my nutrition. I won't say it was my fitness, because we all know you can't outwork out a bad diet, right? Well, that was my problem. I was working out for 1 to 2 hours a day, but I was still eating and drinking crap every day, so it didn't really matter. So I just have been focusing on that, and that's something that I'm going to do for the next, I think it's like 16 days left now. I'm not counting down for my wine or anything. But that focus has totally been helping me focus on other things. And all it took was just changing one thing that I was struggling with and making it a priority. So I really want you to think about, write down, what is your biggest struggle in this business? Is it being a product of the product? Is it sharing your 3 to 5 posts a day? Maybe if 3 to 5 posts is super intimidating to you and you cannot think of like a story for 3 to 5 posts, how about you do 2 to 3 posts a day? Make it something that's manageable for you. Is it contacting people? What is it that's hard for you? So instead of looking at 3 to 5 people to contact a day, new people, maybe you should look at 2 people a day that are new contacts. Make it something that's manageable, even if it's 1 person a day, you guys. If you did 1 person a day and you, what? Oh my gosh, you're disgusting. Sorry, my husband's being perverted. Anyways, not did 1 person a day. If you talked, I'm blushing now, I hate you. If you talked to 1 new person a day and stuck to that consistently, then you would be talking to 28 people a week. My math is still okay. So if you're talking to 28 people a week, geez Louise, Anyways, 28 people a month. You got me all distracted now. Thank you. And that's a lot of people that are new contacts. Those are new contacts that may not jump on board with a challenge pack or anything like that right now. But those are new contacts that are going to be following your journey, that you're building quality relationships with. So whatever you feel like your attainable goal is for whatever you feel like you're struggling with, I want you to write it down now. Write it down, put it in your phone, or whatever you have to do. Write down what you feel like your biggest struggle is right now in your business. It can be your individual journey. It can be your posting. It can be your inviting. It can be being on team calls or national wake-up calls, personal development, whatever you feel like you're struggling with the most. I can tell you right now, if you feel like it is your attitude or your motivation or your drive for this business, you probably need to be digging more into personal development. That's exactly what I do when I'm really pissed off, which happens a lot. I have shut up. Nobody needs your input. I dig into my personal development, and I do it because it helps and because I'll kill my husband if I don't. So yes, it saves me from jail and it helps me with life. But whatever it is, now I'm going to unmute the few of you that are on, and I want to ask you what it is you feel like you need to work on and what you feel comfortable committing to do every day. Let's see. I'm going to unmute Veronica first. What up, Veronica?
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. What do you feel your biggest struggle is, or something that you feel like you could work on better?
Probably my posts, I don't know, like interesting enough to want for people to make them want to engage in it,
Yeah.
It's hard because I don't know how much post people see like that in newsfeed, because I don't know about you guys, but my feed is flooded with other beachbody coaches, and I'm wondering if everybody of my friends is seeing all these other beachbody coaches too, because if you keep seeing that after a while,
I think you're cutting out.
okay. I can't hear you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think my internet just shut down, and I think I just completely lost that recording. I don't know.
Oh no.
No, it says it's recording right now, so maybe it just cut out. We can hope. Cross our fingers. My internet's fast. So anyways, what? So go ahead. You said your post and you feel like your timeline or your newsfeed is flooded with Beachbody coaches, and you're worried about other coaches or them seeing other coaches posts. Is that what you were saying? Because that's when it started cutting out.
Yeah. How do you, I don't know how you would know if they don't. I'm not going to go through my friends list and ask them, hey, are you seeing other Beachbody coach stuff? Because I don't know.
Wouldn't. This is what I think about all the time, because it really, it holds true. People are going to see tons of Beachbody coaches stuff. It's just inevitable. There's a lot of us out there, but they're going to relate to your story differently than they're going to relate to somebody else's. Like somebody may relate to me in a different way, and somebody may relate to you and not relate to me. And that's just going to happen. Our job is to just get our story out there enough where people feel comfortable talking to us. So the best thing and the easiest thing that I've been doing the last 2 days since I had that meeting with Josh was when somebody would like my page or on my friends list, even if it was your personal page. But if somebody would like something, I would contact them and just say, hey, thanks. I saw that you liked this post. I'd say what the post was. I just wanted to thank you for your support. Are you on a health journey too? So simple. I've been doing it nonstop. It's not salesy. It's not weird. You don't have to ask about their dog or their grandma that you saw on their Facebook page and feel awkward. It's just a nonchalant, chill way because they liked your health and fitness post. So it's not crazy to say that they either like what you're doing and might want to do it too, or they're doing something similar and they think it's cool. Either way, you're opening yourself up to that. So start with that. Start and with something that you're comfortable with. But if you're having a hard time sharing your story with your posts and stuff, stick to something you can do a day. So maybe it's just one post about your life, like something you're doing with your kids that day, or cooking or something like that. And then maybe it's one about your health and fitness journey. If you can do 3 to 5 posts a day, that's awesome. But if you have 2 quality posts a day that are legit super high quality, and that's what you're comfortable doing, just make sure you're consistent with that.
Okay.
And then follow the people that are liking and commenting on your stuff. I've really started engaging more, like on Instagram and stuff. When people comment on my things, I go and I look through their pages and comment on their stuff. And I'll direct message them and be like, hey, thanks so much for this and blah, blah, blah. And one of them like is super hilarious. I'm like dead set on making her become a coach because her sense of humor is, I love her vocabulary. It's like crazy, the stuff she comes up with. And I just asked her, I told her, I was like, your sense of humor is hilarious. Sorry, I seem like a creeper on your page. But your stuff was cracking me up. I don't remember something about Santa Claus and I don't know. And she was laughing at people starting Christmas stuff right now, but it was hilarious. And she's like, no, I admire you so much and you're so inspirational. I'm so glad that you like my page. So it's not weird at all. It was super chill. Like we had a conversation, and since I started doing that and opening it up with thanks for supporting me, people are a lot more, they feel that genuineness because I am thankful that they're supporting me and that they're liking my stuff. We all like likes and comments. Everybody likes that. So when you go and do that, you're opening yourself up to, reach out to these people, which is essentially what our job is.
Yeah.
So maybe try that.
I think I could do that. That sounds easy to do. But another thing I fight with like daily is, oh my gosh, you have no idea how bad I fight with this. But I've been wanting to. I think that my business would definitely change if I posted pictures of my kids. And I don't know if you saw the other day, but we were at the zoo. And so they were hiding behind, we were like in the Africa part of the zoo, and they were hiding behind these masks. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to post that because it doesn't show their faces. But I've seriously like cried over it because I'm in a bajillion homeschooling groups. And some of the people that I've friended are from homeschooling groups. And I think that I could bring them on board because they're all about like, I need to lose weight. And then they're all doing Weight Watchers and they're doing Herbalife and they're doing all this stuff, and then they quit, and then they're eating cheesecakes. And I'm like, okay, I need to help these moms. But I think posting pictures of my kids would
make you more relatable.
Yeah, exactly. And like it's just so hard because like once your pictures kids are out there, they're out there. It's the internet, so you can't get them back. And people do. I had a friend, and the reason why this is so hard for me is because I had a friend, and her relative up in Colorado found her child's picture on a child pornography site, and it freaked me out. And I'm like, the way people can Photoshop your kids and put them on bodies that's not even theirs. I mean, it's scary. It scares the crap out of me.
I understand.
And so I'm trying to be brave, but I'm like, I don't know if you've noticed every time I post pictures of my kids, it's the back of them or their faces are hiding, or I don't put their faces up. I want to, but I'm scared.
Maybe if you take baby steps with that. Like I said, I try. You can't, once you put it out there, it's out there. You can't, but the thing is, you also can't prevent people from being perverts. I mean, right. You can't keep your kids inside just because you're afraid that when a pervert sees them, they're going to imagine bad things. You know what I mean? And I know when your kid's face is on something like that, it's completely different because somebody's getting a visual of somebody that's not really your child. I get that. Totally. Yeah. But the way that I look at it is you're not putting your kid out there on a computer or something like that. You're not, you know what I mean? Like you're still watching your child and everything. You're just sharing a piece of your story. We can't stop the gross people. There's like no way. There's too many bad people out there.
Yeah, there is.
But we can't allow them to keep us from being successful. Now, if it's something that you want to work towards getting brave about, do a little bit at a time. Maybe you do a picture from far away the first time, like a really, like if you've seen those pictures, like where the mom's there and the kids are like way behind it, maybe you focus more on yourself and the kids are back there where you can kind of see them, but the main focus is on you. Maybe you start small. And then, as you get comfortable, you do what you're comfortable with. Obviously, don't put pictures of your kids going to the bathroom. I'm not expecting that of you. But you can still share stories about, even if it's like, you can talk about whatever you're dealing with, like with their feet or with their clothes or with their something. But every once in a while, it is more relatable if people actually physically see your children. So they're like, she really does have kids. She wasn't lying. So it's got to be comfort level.
I want to post about them, but it's so. Just talking to you about, I'm shaking right now. It scares me.
Well, it's good to be protective. I'm not bashing it at all, so don't feel like I am. It's got to be your comfort level, but and it is true. It's more relatable to them. You just have to realistically think. For me personally, I just think about how no matter what, I can try to do my best to prevent them from things like that, but I can't keep the gross people from looking at them. I can keep the gross people away from them, but I can't. The internet's just too crazy. So I get what you're saying, but it's got to be your comfort level. And if it's something you want to build up to, start small. Maybe do one a month, or something really little where you're not doing it constantly. I don't put my kids up constantly. I put them up there every once in a while, but I don't. People aren't really interested. They're interested that I'm a mom, but they're not interested in my kids, the people that I want to talk to anyways. So I don't do it a lot anyways. So just try to build up to it. And like I said, it can be like a faraway picture where they're not really in focus. Like those professional pictures you see of like the brides and then the bridesmaids are in the back. Your focus is the bride, but you see that there's bridesmaids. She has friends. What?
No, there's hot bridesmaids.
Oh my gosh. Ugh, can we mute him? Anyway, so yeah.
I think it would help a lot because like I said, lots and lots of homeschooling groups and it would help. I think it would help.
Share with the people that you build relationships with them. You know what I mean? Like make a big comfortable community group for you of those homeschooling people and all the other people you're comfortable with, where you can share pictures of you and your family and relate. So that may be something that might be easier for you, is like a big group of, people that you're comfortable with on Facebook, but it's a private group. And it's not like a challenge group requirement to be in it, just where you can get to know each other and stuff like that, where you can share pictures of your kids, health and fitness tips, stuff like that. You might find something where you're more comfortable with that, with people you're actually talking to and not just a big network.
Okay, right. Okay. That sounds good.
So start small. Like I said, if it's posting about your kids, start small. If it's posting just quality stuff, start small with something you can manage. Like I said, even if it's one person a day, that's going to compound over time. Like that one people a day, if you're sticking with it, it's going to do it. For me, I'm a little different. I do like 100 one day and then I'll skip like 2 days. But I make sure that I at least have X amount a week. So if it's easier for you to say, okay, I'm going to contact this many people a week and sit down and do it, a couple days a week, that's fine too. The whole point is just to be making new contacts. It doesn't matter if you want to do it once a day, twice a day, or 50 times a week or 20 times a week. It doesn't matter what you want to do, as long as you can be consistent with it. Set up either a daily or a weekly goal and just stick with it, and it will work for you.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to mute.
What do you mean to mute yourself?
Oh, there I am. Okay, go ahead. Let's see. I don't know what I just said, but anyways, what do you feel like you could do something small every day that you feel like you're struggling with the most?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, okay. Since I'm already unmuted, I don't know. I didn't know that I was. Um, um, I am just working on talking to people because whether in person or on the computer, like if I don't know you, I'm just super awkward. But I don't even know her name actually. It's a girl that I follow on Instagram, and she's just like, she's not like a big name person, but her skin is really nice. Like, and I've had trouble with mine. I'm like, God, her skin is so pretty. Like, and she doesn't wear a lot of makeup. So I was like, I'm gonna ask her about it. I was like, maybe that's weird. I don't know, but like, I genuinely wanted to know, and so. I was just like, hey, I've been following you for a little bit, and maybe this is creepy. I'm sorry, but you have really pretty skin. I was like, I didn't know if you're like blessed with that, but like, I need some help. So if you don't mind, like, do you have like a certain thing you do with your skin? And she doesn't message me back, but she may just not be on her Instagram nonstop like I am. But
well, that's not weird. That's good. It's really good to do something like that because you can tell that you're genuine about it. You said nothing about a challenge group or anything, because most of the time, right when you message them and say, hey, you want to join my challenge group, they either ignore you or they're like, hey, no, bye. So it's really good to find something that you genuinely have an interest in. And it makes it more real for you too. I know we say if you don't have an interest in it, like a super big interest in it, still, ask them about it. Or if you know the answer, ask them about it to engage in the conversation. But I know sometimes that's really hard because you don't feel genuine in it. And when I say fake it till you make it, it doesn't mean that you're not interested in helping that person. It just means that you're trying to break the ice and start a conversation. That's how you have to look at it. There's nothing wrong with trying to find something to talk about with somebody. And it always starts out a little weird. Think about, because I'm super socially awkward, think about when you walk up to somebody or they walk up to you and they just start talking to you and you're like that girl at Super Sunday. Oh my gosh. I was like, whoa, lady, calm yourself. Because she was like super talkative, which is awesome. I envy that. I'm talkative, but like I can't walk up to a complete stranger and just start talking about everybody and their grandma's dog. And
hold their baby.
Had that. Yeah. And hold their baby. I was like, somebody's holding Rosie's baby. Anyway.
Like I walked and everything. I was like, okay. Like, yeah. I didn't want to.
And I don't have that. I mean, I don't quite want to go that far, but I don't have that ability to do that. And in fact, I try to in public avoid conversation, which is terrible because of my job, but that's what I try to do. And I have people ask me, well, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm way better at this over the computer. Can you Facebook me? Like, I freak out. So it's not just you. We just all have our different niches and our different things, but we all have to grow and improve on it. I have to grow and improve on it. The person that fixed my phone last night, his wife fixed my phone, but he was asking me tons of questions about health and fitness because he just had gastric bypass and he has to drive 2 hours to the nutritionist and he has to drive to do this and do that and diet and exercise. And I was like, whoa, dude, that sounds really complicated. And he's still eating he had white bread over on the side and everything else. And they have no idea. Like their nutritionist is obviously terrible. And their nutritionist told him, do the man cave diet. That's pretty extreme to go from not having any idea of what health is to going to paleo. That's extreme. Wow. And that's hard for somebody to do when they've spent 50, 60, how old is he? 60? 50? Anyways, a lot of years eating crap and thinking it was healthy. And
does age really matter?
What?
Does his age really matter?
Well, that's a long time. Anyways. God.
4.5.
I'm going to slap you. So it is a lot of time, to go from one extreme to the other was crazy. And I was like, well, what I do eases you into it. You don't have to jump totally cut out your breads right off the bat. You don't have to do this. Essentially, it's better for you to do a paleo diet. But like, you don't have to go from one extreme to the other. You're not going to starve yourself. You don't have to go like jog 10 miles because he's still overweight. His exercises have to be super modified. He like forced me into talking to him about it because this is how awkward I am. I was like, can we just fix my phone so I can go home? And he like kept talking to me and asked me questions. And I was like, damn it, I have to like talk about this like in person. And it's not comfortable for me, but it's okay. I managed it. I did it. Now I didn't have like I didn't say like, hey, well, do you want to do 21 day fix? But I have to go get my phone fixed again tomorrow because something got weird with the screen again. And I'm going to take him my nutrition guide and just show him, kind of how it works. It's out of my comfort zone. It's weird because I feel salesy and I don't like it and it makes me uncomfortable. But realistically, he pretty much asked me for my help and it would help him. So that's how I have to look at it. I have to get that fear gone by the fact that somebody needs my help, and I have to cut my fears and put my big girl panties on and like shut up and get my stuff done. So sorry. Anyways, so that's what I would keep doing, what you're doing, but find something that's manageable for you. So if one a day, every single day is manageable for you, do that. If 10 quality conversations every 3 days is manageable, if it's easier for you to go by a weekly amount, but commit to it. Write it down and say, I'm going to do this. And you do that. And then stick to that. And if you need to post something in the team page, I'm committing to this. Like I told y'all, I was committing to 21 Day Fix Extreme, even if it was going to kill me, which it may not. But my husband's sanity with me not having wine, he might die. But I am sticking to it. It's something small, but it's hard for me. So find something that you can achieve, that you know you can do, that's going to help you in your business. So if it's reaching out to X amount of people a day, just stick with it. Just stick with that every day. And then we'll evaluate and we'll track it. Because that's what it's like. That's why I put in the team page today, all successful people are trackers. And it said in the book, like, think about Olympic people. They track every calorie that they take in. They track every workout. They track everything that they do so they can see how they've improved. Then they go off their races and stuff like that to see if they've improved. It said, what do you call it? The casinos track everything because they need to know how they're gaining money. That's how they improve. So tracking and making sure that you're sticking to whatever goal you set out is always going to make it easier for you. That's why my list is so big now. I started out with me making sure I was on national wake-up calls and being on team calls. Then it went to me inviting people. And then it went, working out was always in there too. And then it went to me following up. Then it went to me checking it. And I just kept adding it because once I started doing that in one area and started tracking one area, I wanted to track all the other areas. And once you start consistently doing something, we all know, right? It takes 21 days to make a habit. So once you make a habit of that behavior, the other behaviors can kind of follow in and we can add to them and it not seem so overwhelming versus if you're going, all right, I need to listen to the national wake up call. I need to do personal development. I need to do leadership development. I need to work out, follow up, check in, 3 to 5 posts, laundry, dishes, run, team call. Holy shit, Batman. Like you're going to freak out and it's going to be really overwhelming. And I know because I know that I've told y'all to do this. I've been like, this is your to-do list. And y'all are like, this lady is crazy. So take small things that you can do and just make sure to do them. And then we'll track it. So I guess my challenge for anybody that's listening and talking on the call or anybody that listens to the recording is going to be to go in after this call and post in the page what you're going to focus on. I want you to say like what you're going to focus on and how many you're going to commit to. You know what I mean? So maybe it's, 30 new conversations a month or, I don't know, 2 conversations a day, whatever you want to do. Or maybe it is you know, 2 quality conversations a day, or, you know, adding yourself to 2 groups a day, whatever you're committing to, put it in the team page and say, I'm committing to this, and I'm going to check in with you weekly because that's what I do. And we're going to see what you feel like has worked and what you feel like has not worked. And we're going to work on that.
Okay.
There's no accounting for taste.
Mine,
Don't you worry.
No, you're unmuted. Or you're unmuted. That's the word I was looking for.
I know this is like way back in the conversation, but I was going to say about Facebook. When Monica was talking about like getting engagement.
Yeah.
I was just asking random questions, like I asked about the mascara, which wasn't made up. I really do mascara, but like, you so many people comment on that because they want you to know their opinion. You know, like, and I'm not saying everyone thinks their opinion is more important, whatever, but like, you know, people want to put 2 cents on stuff. So
yeah,
like, I've kind of stopped asking, like, if it's health related.
yeah.
Most people on my Facebook friends list are not healthy, so I'm not like, hey, what's your
What healthy
favorite
food do you eat? Ranch and carrots.
You're like, I don't like, you know, fat-free donuts or
Yeah.
whatever, you know, like, crazy. But what I've noticed in my newsfeed is that people that I'm not friends with, like, if I have a friend that comments on their stuff, I see it, and I'm like, who is this person? I don't even know why this is in my newsfeed. Well, it's in my newsfeed because my friend is commenting on their stuff. So as far as like, if you're friends with Beachbody coaches and stuff, I think as long as you're not really like engaging in their posts, like I know that some of us are just friends on there, but like, it's not like the bigger coaches, you know, we follow them just to kind of get an idea and see like what they're doing. But I don't ever engage on their stuff anymore.
I don't either.
My friends are seeing that, you know, and I think that's how they show up in their news.
Yeah.
So I think as long as like you're not really like engaging in this stuff, it should be fine. But your newsfeed is flooded with it because they're all your friends, you know?
Yeah. And that, I totally agree with you. And that's what, and I love having the top coaches to get ideas off of them. But what I found that's awesome is I found a coach that I feel like I really relate to, and I love her content, like obsessed with it. And that's what I feel like everybody should do. They need to find that one coach that they are just like, holy shit, your content, it totally relates to me. And you need to be looking at their stuff and see, like, that's where I get my ideas. You guys, most of my stuff lately has come from amazing ideas that I've seen from Brittany Powers. I just love her stuff. She does like a fitness video, accountability post every single day. She's constantly posting about stuff with what she's doing with her kids. And all how she's having to run around and, you know, take kids to dance and take them here and take them there. And I love her content and I relate to her content. So just because I say I relate to Brittany Powers doesn't mean that everybody's going to relate to Brittany Powers and they should go follow her. You know, you might relate more to Amy Silverman, Carly, or Melanie Mitro, or Lindsay Matway, you know, whatever you feel like, that's what I feel like you really should be watching and doing. But yeah, I agree. The engagement thing, I put like a picture of my dog on there, my Great Dane puppy, and I had 2 pictures come up of other people's dogs, because at the end I'd ask the question, does anybody else have a Great Dane? Well, I knew that wasn't going to be flooded with pictures because not a huge amount of my followers probably have the specific breed of Great Dane. But it still caused some engagement, and I know that person is actually reading and following my stuff. And then I did one about having your kids fighting in your back seat, which drives me batshit crazy. And that, by the way, that's another idea, Veronica, side view. I had a side view of the kids. You couldn't really see their faces, and you can't really put that on a body, by the way. But you can see that they have faces, so you might try that. But anyways, and I had tons of people like so-and-so fights and this person fights, and that was something relatable that got engagement. And sometimes, most of the time, you guys, when I post health and fitness related stuff, nobody's commenting, or they'll be like, oh, that looks like it hurts, or something like that. And that's it. And that's okay. But find the lifestyle posts to get engagement, like what you said, your mascara, skincare, running shoes. I've done that before. Whatever relates to you, your dog, your cats, your curtains. I don't know. I'm just looking around trying to find stuff. But if you need like an idea on something, then use that to get engagement on your page. And then all the people that like that are engaged on it. Do that. And that might be an idea for a boosted ad that's super weird, but I guarantee you'll get tons of engagement if you do a question, like maybe do a post like, stay-at-home mom here looking for ideas on activities to do with homeschooling my children. I guarantee you, Veronica, you get so many people that are responding to that, and you could add them. And I know that that would be putting in money, but think about all the contacts that you would get just from having engagement on that. Whereas they're seeing Beachbody Coach sponsored ads all the time, but they're not seeing stuff like of asking questions. So that might be an idea for the next boosted ad, is just something where you're getting new contacts of people that are like-minded to you. So maybe Rosie do like a $5 boosted ad of what skincare do you use? This is the problems that I have, and do a picture of your face. That might be something. Thank you, Zubeda. I just literally popped that up. It must be the coffee that I drank before I fell asleep, Olio. So anyways, I'm trying to come up with new ideas, and I think that's a great way to do it, because people are going to be responding to that, and they're not going to feel like you're trying to sell them anything. You're just building a relationship with them, and I guarantee you, you're not going to have to spend a big budget on it or a big amount of money to get engagement on a question that has nothing to do with sales or health and fitness and blah, blah, blah. Maybe a running shoes one. I run, so maybe I'll do one about running shoes, even though I love my new running shoes. So yeah, does anybody else? I saw Zubeda chat box. So Ken, if you want to unmute yourself and tell me what your what you feel like something you could do every day consistently, very small, that you're struggling with. If you can't, then that's fine. We can just post it in the team page. But if anybody else can say anything. Why am I not seeing? There we go.
Hello.
Hi. Okay.
Yeah, my little ugly picture is gonna pop up. It's weird, and I have something on my chin in it, but so don't mind
What
that.
is that?
It was like some sparkly things that the kids wanted me to put for my laptop.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it just stuck there in the picture. I'm like, okay.
That's funny. I love it.
Two of my biggest problems is inviting. I don't know how to just go about, because I do have a lot of people on my personal page that I've noticed that are starting to go to the gym and doing things like that. But I don't know how to just go about like, hey, do you want to start join my challenge group? And then just be like, no,
Yeah.
bitch, I want to do my gym.
So, yeah, right.
So, and then also personal development is like the hardest thing in the world for me. I don't know why. I mean, I like reading sometimes, but it's like I'll pick up the book and I go to start reading, and then one of my kids will be like, oh, I need this, or I need that, and then I need this. But I put it down, and by the end of the day, I'm like, oh, shit, I never picked it back up.
So do you have earphones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you not hear me good?
No, not for this. I suggest, because this is what I do, because I get super easily distracted, and something that I have started doing that I love that really works for me is I will, oh my gosh, he farted again. Oh, sorry. My puppy is like killing me here.
Sorry for coughing in your ears.
No, it's okay. So something I do is when I'm doing the dishes, I'll set my phone down and have my earphones in. I get my kids situated. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, all right, run wild, here's knives. But I'll get them situated with something that they need. And I will go to do the dishes or do the laundry, and I'll have my phone with me, and I'll put on personal development. They've got so many like free YouTube stuff, like it's just where they're reading it on YouTube, but so many personal development books on YouTube that you can listen to, or Audible. I listen to Audible a lot. I do like a monthly thing where I get one book a month, and it's like $14 but I get one free book a month. And for me, having to do personal development, I just make it work. But you don't have to do that. You can do podcasts, you can do free YouTube stuff, and you just commit to 10 minutes of listening. Just be like, all right, it's going to take me 10 minutes to do the dishes or 10 minutes to do the laundry at least. So I can at least listen to 10 minutes because it's mindless activity, right? Just doing your laundry, it's mindless. So that's something that I started committing to, and two things happened. My dishes started getting done every day, which so that helped.
That might help me too.
Right? And I started getting my personal development in. I have to do a leadership development too. So I do a personal development and a leadership development. So I listen to one and I read the other. But there's no wrong or right. Oh my gosh, she's going to have to go outside. There is no wrong or right way to do it. Whatever is a mindless activity for you, where you're not having to think, it's just a habit. Set aside that time, or even when you're showering, I do this for team calls, like for Iron Edge sometimes, I put the phone up, not where it falls in the shower, but where I can hear the team call, obviously. Remember to turn your video off, not like me, and then I'll just listen to the team call or whatever. There you go. I know Melanie, when she got on her first call, she was in the bathtub. So, like, whatever you need to do where you can still listen, and if you can get your kids situated for 10 minutes or 10 minutes after they go to bed or 10 minutes before they wake up, and just set to that every day and just think 10 minutes, oh my gosh, that's like nothing. I don't even know the percent because I know 30 minutes is 2% of your day, right? So I'm not even going to try that math equation, but it's a really small percentage. But so just try to make that happen. Now the inviting, I didn't start by marketing to people I didn't know, right? I started with my contact list. Rosie was one of them. Chelsea was one of them. Julia was one of them. So these were my friends that I'd talked to. Rosie was actually more of an acquaintance because she knew my husband, but not really me. And I don't even remember. I really need to see if I can like search back ages ago to look at all of our conversations. But I was super chill with them. I wasn't like, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? But hey, I haven't talked to you in a really long time. How have you been? That's how I started with Chelsea. I asked her where she lived now because when we went to school with each other, she lived in Alaska. So I was talking to her about stuff like that. And then, she asked me what I was doing. And I told her I just started coaching and I'm doing this program, 21 Day Fix. And it's for me to lose this baby weight. I knew that was something that she could relate to. And I was like, I feel so much better, blah, blah, blah. And I want to see if I can find people that want to do it with me. So that's how I started when I first started. Now, if you're asking somebody now that's seen you on the journey, you feel like they've probably seen your posts, you can still start with like, hey, how are you? I haven't talked to you in a long time if you haven't talked to them in a long time. Or just seeing what they're doing. Or, if their Facebook page says they're on vacation. I had a girl today that said she was on vacation and she was going to Idaho. And no, that's not right. Indiana, whatever, it's an I. Anyway, she said she's going to Indiana and she was at the airport. And I was like, oh, I've never been to Indiana. What's the weather like there? It's such a weird question, but I really don't know what the weather was like in Indiana. So I asked. And she, told me about it and asked, what I was doing, and said she brought up that she keeps thinking about doing 21 Day Fix and she keeps backing out because she's scared because all the junk food that's in her house from her brothers. And so, we got to talking about it, but all of it started, and she may not have ever reached out to me. All of it started was from me asking her where she was going on vacation and what the weather was like in Indiana. So that's how I started. And it's not awkward because if you were to think about if you saw that person at Target. Would you duck your head, if you knew the person, would you duck your head and walk the other way? I probably would because I'm awkward. Or would you be like, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. How have you been? That's exactly what you're doing, but it's on Facebook. It doesn't have to be anything health and fitness related. If these are your Facebook friends, you don't have to do the thank you for your support, are you on a health journey too? If these are your Facebook friends, acquaintances, people that you've known at one time, seen in passing, are friends of mutual friends, that's your opening. Find something that you relate to with them and ask them about it. Like Rosie with the complete stranger saw that she liked her skin and asked about her skin. It doesn't matter what it's about. Just see something that I did this today with a girl I went to school with because she has a different name on Facebook. And Chelsea had said she'd reached out to her, but she was a mutual friend of mine. And I read her name and I was like, no, she's not. I don't know this lady. Well, she ended up having to change her name on Facebook for a reason, a good reason. But I was like, oh, and it got us to talking about, why she changed her name and stuff. It's just essentially talking to people. Talk to them about anything that you can relate to them about. And then most of the time they're going to ask you, how have you been? Because that's just the normal conversation. You ask how they are, they ask how you are. And you can say, I've been really good. You don't have to do the sales pitch thing, but you can say, like, I've been really good. I've been focused on my health and fitness a lot lately, and I got to do this really cool deal where I might be on an infomercial. Like you can say something like that. I'm like, what? What infomercial? What are you talking about? That's awesome. And there's your opening.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I always make shit way too hard
We all
on myself.
do.
I'm ADHD and I'm very antisocial. So I'll go from, oh, look, I just saw a bird outside. Oh, do you have a cat? I have a cat too. And I have a dog. Oh, look, my shoe. And they're like, wait, what the hell did she just say to me? So I always feel weird about just messaging them out of the blue, asking them something because it'll go from that.
It is. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable until you get used to it. I mean, it really is. And the only way you can get used to it is if you do it repeatedly. That's the only way that you're going to start getting comfortable with it. The only way that the weird starts feeling normal is if you do it over and over again. And then you just might be weird, but you don't notice it. So, see, like me.
Right.
But don't.
And I did start doing the thing that you guys were talking about, thank you for supporting me. I've done that 3 times just today.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, you're welcome. I've been watching you. You've done so amazing. But then the conversation just ends. And I'm like, okay, well, at least I got it out there.
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to keep a conversation alive. I just go back and I check, in a few days, I'll check. I will check and sorry, I was reading the chat box. I got a little behind on it. I will go and I'll check the, how they're doing. If the conversation went dead, I'll go back in a few days or a couple of weeks and just see how they are again, or go back and start liking and commenting stuff on their page when I do follow-ups. So, don't expect to have a lively conversation. Some people it takes a lot to dig out of them. But what I figured out, because Josh told me that I am a rhino and that I literally need to slow down and put more into my conversations and really think about why I would be interested in what they're saying. And once I started doing that, today and yesterday have been so much different. I don't have any success club points right now, but that's not the point. The point is that I'm making real connections with people that are really going to respect me and respect my opinion because I'm spending more time with them. Conversation for me is not easy with this stuff, with starting a conversation and keeping a conversation going without rambling. When I get nervous, I ramble. So it's hard for me. It's something I have to really, really, really train myself to do. So I'm reading that, sorry. I get it. I totally get it. You guys, it's not that I'm immune to the struggles you're struggling with. I struggle with them too. I just have I'll struggle and then I'll go on to the next person. And that's all you can do is just keep pushing forward and just keep trying. But whatever you feel like your biggest struggle is, hone in on that and focus everything that you can on making that weakness stronger. We're all going to have weaknesses. It's just reality. None of us are going to have the same strengths. None of us are going to have the same story. That's what makes us all different and unique. But the only way we can improve on anything is if we work at it. And I look at it this way. Nobody wakes up and runs a mile. You don't just wake up one day and can run a mile. Or let's look at bigger. Nobody wakes up and can run a half marathon. That's just, Forrest Gump. But nobody can really do that. So you have to work on it every day. And you start small. You don't go run 12 miles your first time, right? You go and you start small. You start with 200 yards and then maybe 800 yards and then a mile and then, you know, a mile and a half. And you go slow and eventually you get to where you want to be. It's got to be the same thing with whatever you feel like you're struggling with. Start small. If it's putting your kids' face on Facebook, put the side of their face on there. Put them from far away. Do it once a month. If it is inviting people and feeling awkward, focus on making a really awesome conversation with one person a day. If it is posting and not knowing, you know, how to make a good story, only do like 2 posts a day and just make them really awesome, engaging posts. No matter what you feel like your biggest weakness is, just make that stronger. My biggest weakness is listening. I need to shut my mouth and listen, stop and listen. So all my development right now that I'm doing, that I'm listening to, is teaching me to shut my damn head. So everybody will be happy that way. My husband will too, but I don't think I'm going to incorporate that. But really, that's all that it's about. And I know that if you do it repeatedly, because we know when we do our nutrition repeatedly, it becomes a habit. I know that we all at least have that in common. We all know when we apply the small changes in our nutrition and in our fitness every day, it becomes a habit. And it turned into coaching for most of us, right? So when you apply the small habit of inviting people, it's going to turn into something else. Going to turn into them being into challenge groups, which is going to turn into them being coaches, which is going to turn into them being emeralds and you being a diamond and blah, blah, blah. And it's going to go on and on and on. And all of that is the compound effect. And that's why if you start small, these big changes happen. And I love in the compound effect, he shows a savings account of $250 a month. This is the last thing I'm going to finish with, but I just thought this was crazy and I need to start saving $250 a month. And he said that his assistant said there was no way she could budget that in, and he found ways for her to budget it in. I won't get into it. But so this girl started saving at age 23. She saved $250 a month. At the end of the year, balance was $3,112.48. Well, the $112.48 was the interest. At the end of, 10 years in, she had $45,736. 20 years in, she had $771. And then at the end of 45 years, she had over $1 million. So that was $250 a month. And it compounded over time. And when you think about it, I know when I save anything, I'm like, oh, it's only $250 or it's only $25. It's not going to grow. But if you think about, doing that every day, it grows into something bigger. If you're not doing it, there's no way you're going to grow. If you're not doing what you're afraid of or what you feel like your weakness is, you're not going to get better at it. There's no way you can get better at something you're not doing.
Definitely true.
So I will end there because I've gone for an hour, like always. And I will just say to hold yourself accountable, go. I don't know if Brittany is there or not. Brittany, if you're there and you want to say your thingy-majobber, just unmute yourself and let me know. If not, that's totally fine. We'll put it in the team page. So we'll put in the team page, I'll do it too because I have different ones of what we're going to do, the 1 or 2 things we're going to do different every day that we can commit to every single day. And we're going to check in with each other weekly. So let's do that, and I promise if you stick to it, it will get better. Whatever area it is, no matter what it is, it will get better, or it will get easier if it's certain things you're just struggling with by fear. It's going to get easier the more that you do it. Hopefully this actually recorded when it cut out because, that would suck. Okay. All right, you guys. Unmuted, but it's not working. Let me see. Uh-oh. Okay, well, just go ahead and post in the team page what you are struggling with and what you want to change every day, and I will definitely comment on that. And, yeah. Make sure that your coaches, all of your coaches that are active business coaches, go back and listen to this. I know they'll hear lots of rambling and stuff, but I feel like there's always information somebody can hear. So you guys have a good night, and I'm going to see if I can go to sleep now that I've had all this coffee. And yeah.
Who said he saw someone answering Herman's description get off at Indian Flats.